Thank you for the introduction. My name is Nicole, and I'm going to be a senior here at Stanford starting in a couple of days. My presentation is just following in the vein of patient advocacy. I am going to be talking about volunteering at Lucile Packard Children's Hospital, which is right around the corner from here. Here at Stanford, I'm a human biology major, and I hope to pursue a career in medicine in the future. And as part of this exploration, I started to volunteer at Lucile Packard and started to actually go in and spend a lot of time with the kids there. There's a hospital school at Lucile Packard, and ended up leaving with a lot more than just volunteer hours. I started teaching science labs there, actually. So a lot of the kids who are in the hospital, many of them are cancer patients, transplant recipients. Many of them have serious injuries that cause them to be hospitalized for long periods of time. And so they're in the hospital for long periods of time and miss a lot of school. And so this makes them fall behind in coursework and really can adversely impact the way that they're able to adjust back into their communities once they're on the path to recovery. So the purpose of the school is to keep these kids on track, and naturally a part of that coursework is science. So I know I'm really preaching to the choir here about why to teach science labs, because I believe everyone here is very invested in science, but just of course a few fundamentals of why to teach science labs. Just to convey the fundamentals of scientific theory, to address key scientific concepts, to teach the process of quantitative lab measurements, and also just to help students and patients alike to stay on track in science topics. In normal school settings, you'd have a laboratory setup, but how do we bring this to a hospital where there are a lot of different challenges? So in 2008, as a part of a collaboration here at Stanford between the Department of Chemical Engineering and Lucile Packard, the LABScI program was created. LABScI stands for Laboratory Activities for Broadened Scientific Inquiry. So the way it works is over time, volunteers actually have come together and created lab content to teach fundamental scientific principles, and I'll go into more of the labs that we have currently. The overarching topics are in biology, chemistry, and physics, and it's a volunteer-run program. We want to provide a high-quality, hands-on curriculum for students to be able to learn. But in hospital settings, there are definitely challenges. So for the patients themselves, there are mobility challenges. So they may not be able to leave their room, or they may be injured in some way and won't be able to participate fully. Many patients are immunocompromised and need to be in isolation rooms. And there are other patients who are going in and out of exhausting treatments and need fun, engaging ways to learn, but also just want to be involved in what normal kids are doing. I think it's really cool. This picture actually here is of the hospital school at Lucile Packard, and what you see there that kind of looks like a hairpin type structure is actually a robot that's being used. So there's a camera in the room that's being controlled by the patient at Lucile Packard. And so if, for example, they're in isolation and can't come and learn the science lab themselves, they can kind of tune in to the lab and come and be involved with other students as well. I understand that that's not obviously feasible in every setting, but the purpose of the project that I'm going to be talking about is actually for low resource settings, so places where they may not have access to a lot of technology as well. As for laboratory materials, in hospital settings, you may not be able to use, or you cannot use biological materials, sharps, certain chemicals, or open flames. And so that kind of, in my recollection of a lot of the labs that I've done in the past, knocks out a lot of different possibilities as well. And then, of course, there are educational barriers to the students and patients that we're trying to reach out to. So there are differential levels of previous classroom education. There's also a lack of instructor knowledge. So many times parents might be trying to help them learn. There might be language restrictions, and just a lot of different issues related to who is able to actually teach them the content and what prior knowledge they have. There's also a lack of resources to conduct labs. So it may be in in a household setting once they're back at home after their treatment, and they may not have a Bunsen burner, or obviously not open flame, but something more scientific, like laboratory material. Additionally, because they're undergoing treatment, a lot of patients may have interrupted learning because of these medical conditions. So they may be in and out of the hospital all the time. So just trying to achieve some kind of continuity is really important. So that brings me to the project that I'm actually here to talk about. It's the LABScI project. If any of you have your laptops open and would like to look at it, this is our website, labsci.stanford.edu. Here on our website, you can find all the labs that we've created related to chemistry, biology, physics, and we're looking to create more as well. You can see all the labs there and also provide feedback on all the labs that we've created. So the reason why I felt really excited to present this project is because I feel that education is really a collaborative process, and I think that we're constantly trying to create new labs and share information and materials in different ways. And so I'd love to hear if at any point you have any ideas of cool ways to teach scientific principles to children. I forgot to mention actually, so the labs are actually targeting middle and high school students. So that's the age group that we're trying to reach out to. So these are the labs that we've already created. So the content is all made to fulfill California state education requirements. These are all, I apologize, it's a little bit small, but the labs are all listed over here. And some of the labs that we're looking to create are related to engineering especially, or design thinking principles, computer science, things that we think that really could be learned by students at a young age or despite being in the hospital, but we just don't know exactly what would be the best way to convey this information yet. Also, disease transmission. We heard a lot about different orphan diseases today, and just trying to communicate how diseases are transmitted would be really interesting. And also something like simple machines or earth sciences. We're always looking for more content. So the long-term goals of the program are to create sustainable labs and lessons for these kids to learn, as well as just content that can be adjusted based on their prior experience. These labs can be taught in one-on-one environments or in large classroom settings as well, and so we really want to make them as flexible as possible. And I think where kind of this audience really comes into play is an open access to education. So everything that I've talked about is also posted online. So all the labs listed here are posted online to be shared. If you know someone who maybe is a patient and is rapidly changing environments and between homes and hospitals, it'd be great to be able to share this information with them, as well as maybe people who are homeschooled or at different hospital schools around the country. So it would be awesome to be able to share it. This is just another scene from the classroom at the hospital school. This is my favorite lab. It's the roller coaster lab. So it's a physics lab teaching, fundamentals of gravity, things like that, and how to create the fastest, coolest roller coaster. These are all mostly elementary school students, and they are having a blast. These are some of the hospitals that are currently participating in our program. So you see Lucille Packard, Legacy Emmanuel in Portland, Nationwide Children's, Stanford Children's, St. Luke's, and Durham Public Schools Hospital. So not all hospitals have hospital schools, but we'd love to get this information out and be able to share it with more people. I'd just like to acknowledge a lot of the work that has gone into creating this kind of a program. At the hospital school, there's a full staff of teachers who are teaching their curriculum, as well as volunteers like myself. The Department of Chemical Engineering at Stanford actually spearheaded the initiative, which I think is really cool to show how researchers, scientists, physicians, teachers, volunteers are all coming together to create something that can really help to teach and inform others. Dr. Siegel is my mentor here at Stanford, and thank you so much to everyone here for just listening to me for the past few minutes. And then if you do have any ideas or questions or anything that you'd like to share with me, you can always contact me at my email, nhdalal@Stanford, and I would absolutely love to hear with you and share anything, any of this content with you. So thank you.